or good afternoon, or late night, or wherever you're coming from. I'm gonna wait for a couple of people to join, maybe, or just wait a couple seconds for this to get going, really. But if you can't tell by the title, today we're talking about Trump and Putin, as well as I have something to show you guys. This is kind of interesting. I never thought it was going to become true. I don't know if you watched my recent live streams where I'm talking about it. I didn't think YouTube would ever partner with me, but fortunately they have partnered with me. So basically this means I'll be uploading a lot more content now that I can actually get money off of it. And I'll really appreciate everyone's support. And also meeting and talking with people and building a community is really my favorite part about YouTube. I've met some cool guys off of here. But yeah, kind of crazy news. Wild, right? Let's try to get some people in here, maybe. Here in Tavat, if you can't tell, or if you've never been or never heard of the place, definitely look it up. It's amazing. Beautiful views from my place. The yacht club and the marina down there. So let's talk about the Putin situation. I want to wait for a few more people to join. So until then, I'm just gonna play, some videos for you guys. Also, probably cook something up. Literally.
And a ceasefire without going a little.
Let's see how we can get this set up.
A few hours ago, I sat down with President Trump in the diplomatic room at the White House. We talked DOGE, China, illegal immigration. He even told us what he sees for Barron's future. But we start tonight with the big news, his conversation with Vladimir Putin. Mr. President, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
We got a readout of your call with Vladimir Putin, and it was a fairly optimistic take. Vladimir Putin agreed to a ceasefire immediately on energy and infrastructure,
Right.
but not to a 30-day ceasefire. Tell us what happened.
Well, you have a situation where you have a lot of guns pointing at each other foolishly because it would have never happened if I were president. That was not a war that was supposed to happen. And it did happen, so that's where we are. And right now, you have a lot of guns pointing at each other, and a ceasefire without going a little bit further would have been tough. Russia has the advantage, as you know. They have encircled about 2,500 soldiers. They're nicely encircled, and that's not good. And we want to get it over with. Look, we're doing this. There are no Americans involved. There could be if we end up in World War III over this, which is so ridiculous. But, strange things happen. And I think we had a great call. It lasted almost 2 hours. Talked about a lot of things and toward getting it to peace. And we talked about other things also.
Was there non-negotiables mentioned by Putin? It was reported that, I think the Kremlin media actually stated that he demanded an immediate cessation of aid to Ukraine in order to get to this multi-step deal.
No, he didn't. We didn't talk about aid. Actually, we didn't talk about aid at all. We talked about a lot of things, but aid was never discussed.
In the readout, it also stated that both sides want to get to an improved.
Sorry about that.
relationship.
The whole damn
United
phone
States
just fell, and we were talking about Putin and Trump. I was trying to adjust it. Welcome into the live stream. I really appreciate everyone watching. Hit the like and subscribe button. Let me know where you guys are coming from. Today we're discussing is Trump a Putin sympathizer? What do you guys think? I just had to put up another poll real quick. Just put a poll up in there. That's why I was silent for a minute. Okay, let's get the Trump video running again so I can finish what I was doing and cook up till a few of you join.
Russia.
That's true.
How can we trust that Vladimir Putin actually wants that, in that he's not also being influenced at the same time by his close friend, President Xi of China?
Well, look, we have our own discussions with President Xi of China, and he wants to get along also, and he's looking to get along, and we're looking to get along with
We
him.
just want peace. Do you think Trump is a Putin sympathizer or do you think he wants peace? I'd love to hear from you guys. Let me know where you're coming from.
We'd like to also. They have some very valuable things for us, including very big forms of rare earth. They have a lot of earth. You know, they have a big chunk of real estate, the biggest in the world for a country by far. And on that, they have things that we could use, frankly, and that other people could use. I think that President Xi would like to get along, and I think Russia wants to get along with the United States. I also think we're a much different country than we were just a few months ago. We're a country that's now respected. We were not respected. We were being laughed at. We had incompetent leadership. This was a war, as an example, that would have never happened if I were president.
Is part of your desire to forge this new relationship with Russia also impacted by Russia's closer relationship since you left office in 2021 with China? Because I think you talked about before the desire to box out China from that part of the world and have a closer relationship with Russia.
So as a student of history, which I am,
Put it in the cup.
I've watched it all.
That
The first
doesn't
thing
work.
I learned is you don't want Russia and China to get together. With that being said, no, it's not a big part of it, but maybe that'll happen or maybe it won't. Obama really forced them together through energy and bad energy policies, and what he did, so many different things. He forced a marriage which would never have taken place. It was not a natural. And for one reason, Russia has tremendous land, a lot of land, and China doesn't have enough land. Russia has a much smaller population than China. And it's sort of it was always a natural enemy situation. They're probably friendly now, but we're going to be friendly with both. I think we're going to be friendly with both. China needs us in terms of trade very badly, but we have to straighten out the deficit. We have now more than $1 trillion deficit with China. It's not even believable. And we're going to be doing something about that. And with Russia, they would like to have some of our economic power.
The criticism that you've heard since really 2015 is that you have more in common with Vladimir Putin than you do with globalist leaders, maybe some NATO leaders, and in this case, with Zelensky. You're both nationalists. Zelensky's more of a globalist. How do you respond to that criticism?
Well, I am a nationalist, but I'm a nationalist for the United States, not for anybody else. And it's interesting because you're in Russia than me. I'm the one that pointed out Nord Stream 2 when I stopped it. Nord Stream is the biggest pipeline, I guess, in the world, taking care of all of Europe. And it was being built from before I got there. And somehow they were on the way. It was going to be, and I stopped it. It was just stone cold dead. I stopped it in its tracks. That's not somebody that's being particularly, it was the biggest project they ever had. I had it stopped. When Biden got in, he immediately approved it. Immediately. One of the first things he did in office was he approved Nord Stream 2. Nobody ever heard of Nord Stream 2 until I was president. I said, what are you doing? You mean you're building a pipeline to Germany and various places in Europe. You're paying them billions of dollars a month, and then we're paying a lot of money to fight them. This is not going to work out well. And it stopped, and then Biden approved it, which was a really stupid thing to do, but he did it. And Putin actually said to me, if you're my
Let me adjust the
friend, I hate
volume.
to see you as my enemy. He said that very strongly. But I had, with all of that, I had a very good relationship with Putin. I had a very good relationship with President Xi, a very good relationship with Kim Jong-un of North Korea. Lots of good relationships. And that's a positive thing. That's not a negative thing. But at the same time, I'm about our country. So that's why we're talking about tariffs. We'll be taking in trillions of dollars.
I'm going to get to the tariffs in a minute
Okay.
because we're going to first hit the other big news of the
Sure.
day, which was the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court issued what a rare statement about your suggestion on Truth that you posted earlier today that Judge James Boasberg should be impeached after he ordered those deportation flights. to El
Absolutely. He
Salvador.
doesn't have the
So
federal
essentially turned around.
jurisdiction.
The Chief Justice said it was more than two centuries. We understood that essentially impeachment was for very rare circumstances and not an appropriate response to rulings you disagree with. What's your reaction to the courts stepping in to make a statement here? They didn't make a statement when Joe Biden, decided to forgive all those student loans.
Well, he didn't mention my name in the statement. I just saw it quickly. He didn't mention my name.
Yeah.
But many people have called for his impeachment, the impeachment of this judge. I don't know who the judge is, but he's radical left. He was Obama appointed. And he actually said we shouldn't be able to take criminals, killers, murderers, horrible, the worst people, gang members, gang leaders, that we shouldn't be allowed to take them out of our country. Well, that's a presidential job. That's not for a local judge to be making that determination. And I thought it was terrible. In fact, he said when they were well on their way, there was an order issued, as I understand it, to bring them back or to not let them go or something. And this
Hit
is
the
not
like and
something that the
subscribe
country
button,
would stand
guys.
for. These people, they were let in here by an incompetent president who had open borders, and anybody throughout the world could come in. And we were given murderers, we were given people from mental institutions and prisons.
The
and
judge
drug
is essentially saying, excuse me, Mr. President, that there still is a process in place. You can read between the lines. It hasn't been a full ruling yet. And I know the Justice Department is appealing this on a couple of different grounds, but this is leading people to wonder whether there are court orders that you will defy because you believe that the judge has no jurisdiction.
Absolutely.
Or that they're political questions and not justiciable at all. And what would you say to that? Are there
No
circumstances
judge
where
should
you
be
would
running
defy
the
a
United
court
States
order?
of
I think
America.
that, number one, nobody's been through more courts than I have. I think nobody knows the courts any better than I have. I would say the chief judge does, but nobody knows them better than I have. And what they've done to me, I've had the worst judges. I've had crooked judges. I have judges that valued Mar-a-Lago at $18 million because that benefited his case, because he wanted to see me convicted of something. I have judges that had relatives making millions and millions of dollars on the election, ruling on the election.
But going forward,
I had
would
judges
you
that were
defy
so
a court order?
corrupt.
Because that we all know that, and that was
I
outrageous.
never did defy a court order.
And you wouldn't in the future.
No, you can't do that. However, we have bad judges. We have very bad
I
judges.
agree.
And these are judges that shouldn't be allowed. I think at a certain point you have to start looking at what do you do when you have a rogue judge. The judge that we're talking about, you look at his other rulings. I mean, rulings unrelated, but having to do with me, he's a lunatic.
He wants details of when
The Trump
flights
derangement
departed
syndrome.
and trying to-
Do you guys
they
think
seem to
Trump's
be
a
trying to
Putin
lay
sympathizer,
predicate
or do you think
for
the man just
your
wants
administration
peace?
having defied a court order. Now, you all have said you haven't given specific times, and you filed a motion in court, your Justice Department, to prevent any more information getting out about specific times of flights. So that seems to be where this is going. Do you have faith that the Supreme Court ultimately will rule in your favor in
I
this
do,
case?
because the job of getting people out of our country that are murderers, that are absolutely the worst people, the drug lords are causing such problems in this country. And our drug lords came in, the biggest of them. They left other countries to come in here. They came through an open border. They're making millions of dollars destroying people's lives, killing people. And that's a presidential thing. We're supposed to be getting them out or getting them brought to justice. We had a judge, I would call him a rogue judge. You can call him whatever you want. I know nothing about him. I heard about this very late in the process, and I said, that's a strange order. You have local judges, local judges, period, and DAs and prosecutors, DAs, state attorney generals that want to really take over. I think some of it's for the publicity. They love the publicity. All of a sudden, they're on the front page of every newspaper, but they have no right to be.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe
Sean
to Fox News
Hannity.
YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews.
Well,
and
Trump
most
tanking the
compelling
stock
analysis.
market. Hey, there you go, the big liberal Harris supporter. I'll just say off the bat, I really can't respect too many Harris supporters, especially the disrespectful ones like yourself. But I'll continue to entertain you because you've been a loyal supporter and you joined. To answer your question, Trump tanking the stock market, yeah. Do you want everything to be made in China for the rest of our lives, or do you want to bring back American infrastructure into the country? Guys, we can't live in a society where everything is made overseas, where Canada has power over North America's electricity. Do you want people like that in charge of everything? Listen, the stock market is going to do great in the long term. Give it 2 to 4 years, 2 to 5 years, it's going to do fabulous. I remember in 2018, Trump was president. I was investing in the stock market. It started to tank a little bit. 2 years later, after Trump put in his hard work, it started to boom. Trump was putting the tariffs back then. He was putting all, I don't know what you're talking about, the Trump merch or whatever. Let me speak. As I was saying, Trump put all these tariffs on. It was hurting the American economy. It was hurting the stock market. But in the end, it brought billions, trillions back into Americans' hands. And the stock market, a year to 2 years later after he announced the tariffs in 2017, 2018, the whole thing started to boom. It started to take off like crazy. Like, it was insane. The stock market started to do really well. So if you invested last time when Trump put tariffs in, you did excellent. 2 years later under Trump, you made a fortune. If you didn't, you just sat there and cried about how bad the stock market was under Trump, then I guess that's your fault, because it did great 1 to 2 years later after Trump's last tariffs. Now, he's doing it even more aggressively now. So the stock market will take a tank even more than before, but it will rebound even stronger than ever. This is the American economy we're talking about, one of the strongest economies in the world. Now, I'm not in America right now. I'm not even in Spain right now. I'm in another beautiful country. I don't have to look it up. I'm a big stock market investor. I lived through it. I don't got to read these CNN articles. I'm telling you straight facts. You probably just have 401ks and stuff that you can't really tell how well the stock market's doing. I invest in individual companies, so I actually know how each individual company was doing. I watched the economics. The economy under Biden sucked. Every single stock was slugging. It was so slow. Now, there was a time for the first year or so under Biden, the stock market was doing good. That's because all of Biden's much slower than Trump. Hit the like and subscribe button if you're new here. I just got the YouTube partnership, so hopefully everything goes good with that. No, everything was going horrible under Biden. The only time the stock market did good was like a year, because he's so elderly and he can't remember what to do. He forgot to put his policies in until like a year later. So then the stock market took a shit. We had the last big dip in the stock market, I believe, was in 2021. So that would have been under Biden. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe 2020. So maybe it was under Trump. I think it was actually under both of them a little bit, but that was because of the COVID virus. That wasn't because of anyone's economic policy. Let's be honest here. Other than that, the market did fantabulous. Now, why would you be mad about Trump saying that he wants to get rid of taxes for people that make under $150,000 a year? How can you be against that? How can you be against a man trying to get criminal rapists off the street and gang members from all these other countries? How can you be against that? Would you rather just Kamala Harris come in and say, okay, we don't care, you make 20 grand a year, you'll give us 70% of your money? You want that to be? Because that's how close we were. We were this close to that happening. Hit the like and subscribe button. Hit the like button above if you're new here. We were this close to Kamala Harris coming in saying, no, we don't care if you guys are poor. Give us 70 to 80% of your income, 60%, 70%, just like all the other liberal, socialist, bullcrap countries and places. Now, you really want that? You really wanted that. If you just want to give up all your money, then just move somewhere else where they'll steal it from you. Because you can't hate against a man that wants to get rid of the tax system for people that make under $150,000 a year. There's not much you can say. No, you don't know his tax cuts. He said it from his social media account himself. You just believe whatever liberal bullcrap news article you read. You believe that Elon Musk wants to cut the Social Security and the Medicare for the elderly. I guarantee you believe that. Elon Musk has not said that one single time in his life. Elon has never said out of his own mouth, a Democratic senator lied to the public on television, because most people nowadays, they're not too intelligent. People over, no offense, but people over 40, they believe everything they see and read on TV and news articles. It's not all true. All it is to get your attention and views. CNN is failing. They're doing less views than some independent streamers on YouTube and Twitch. Listen, you're uneducated on the matter. It doesn't matter what he says. Trump has kept his word time after time after time. He's going to get rid of taxes on tips. He's in the war in Ukraine. He's going to do what he says he's going to do. He's deporting all the illegal immigrants. You just read anything online. Now answer the question, do you believe Elon Musk is going to cut Social Security benefits for people that deserve them and Medicare benefits for people that deserve them? I guarantee you believe it, because you don't seem like the type of guy. Yes, egg prices have dropped already. It's a statistical fact. Egg prices have dropped. Gasoline prices have dropped. Now, when he says certain things, there's called satiricalness, and there's called, sarcasm and stuff like that. A lot of Democrats don't get that. When Trump says stuff like he's going to end the war in Ukraine in one day, obviously that was, a little bit of sarcasm and satiricalness. That means he's just going to end it quickly. Like, not everything he says is literal. Such a literal guy. He's working on it. I don't think any president in history has done as much as him in the first 100 days, and you cannot disagree with that. You can't answer the question about Elon Musk cutting Social Security and Medicare for people that deserve it, because you believe that's true. That's simply not true. That is simply not true. Elon Musk has never said that out of his mouth. Link me an article. Show me an article where it says Elon Musk said he's going to cut Social Security benefits and Medicare for people that deserve them. No, he wants to cut it for all the dead people that are getting the money, all the scammers, all the waste and abuse. You're the same kind of guy that's setting Tesla dealerships on fire. That's what kind of guy you are. He's never said it. Show me one article it says where he wants to cut the benefits for the people that deserve them. Show me one statement. Link me. Go ahead. Link me below the chat. You can't. I asked ChatGPT. I asked the other AI systems, Grok. I asked AI itself. It tells you straight up. If you ask AI, it tells you straight up it's a bullshit lie. It'll say, yes, Elon Musk has never said it out of his own mouth. I'm spitting like disgustingness, but that's probably from talking to you. It over and over again. Yeah, see, I don't need to argue with you. You're not too educated. You can't link me one single thing that says so. You believe everything that comes out of CNN. Everything you believe it. That's your favorite news network. Now, I got bad news for you, buddy. People like me, they're going to start clocking in more and more views, and it's going to get to a point where CNN ain't going to be able to compete. Now, I'm not saying they're going to go out of business, but I do believe that they're going to be sold because of financial debt and all these employees they can't probably pay. They already cut 200 employees. Who believes that shit anymore? No one. There's a reason Trump won. You can cry about it for the next, 3 years, 4 years. You can cry about it all you want. You got nothing on peeps like BTC. I don't know what you're saying. But my channel's rising and rising, and people like you that are arguing with me just make it even better. Now, I would love to have you here and on a one-on-one discussion where we actually talk instead of you just typing in chat like a keyboard warrior that you are. But you're not educated. You can go, after this video, you're watching me, go on and watch it yourself. Look up one video, look up on ChatGPT, look up on anything. Look up on Google, look up on anything. Type in, has Elon Musk said that he wants to cut Medicare and Social Security for people that are doing it legitimately? Legitimate people that deserve Medicare and Social Security. No, he has not said that one single time ever. Never. He's never talked about privatizing it. He's never talked about any of that. Never once, not publicly, ever. All he said is he wants to get rid of wasteful spending in Social Security and Medicare. That's not the same thing. How moronic do you have to believe to believe that's the same thing? Like, you can't hear words coming out of your ear? I don't have to look it up. I know what it is. I hear it directly from Trump himself. He's the one that passes the executive bills. You're just mad because what Trump wants to do is actually help the poor people. And you can't believe that because you've been brainwashed watching CNN and MSNBC, whatever the hell it's called. You sit there all day, you watch CNN. I know exactly what kind of people you are. Me, I don't believe any one news source. One news source does not inform me. I read multiple news sources to get my information. Multiple. And that's how you have to do it. Yes, Musk said he's going to cut a lot of trillions of dollars. Correct. I know for a fact you're crying every day. Go to a protest with the rest of the losers. Go to a Tesla protest, get locked up, go to jail for setting a Tesla on fire. I don't encourage that, but I already know you're going to do it, so just go ahead and do it. Every single day you wake up in fear crying because the liberal media has you mind controlled. They're pushing your buttons, making you upset. That's why you come on my channel like this and spread all this misinformation. Well, guess what, buddy? It's not going to work. Americans don't believe people like you anymore. My generation is educated. We are not so stupid to believe the first news headline because we know for a fact all these news headlines and people saying shit. Literally, a senator lied. A senator lied on TV. I confirmed it with ChatGPT. I confirmed it with even Fox, even the news network itself says they lied. Let's pull that video up, actually, since you want to talk so much and say everything on the news is true. Let's pull that video up and embarrass you a little bit to show you some of the fake news. There's no denying this is blatantly lying. Blatantly lying. Senator lies about Elon Musk. Let's look it up. Actually, let's look through my messages. It's probably in there. There's so much lies about Elon Musk, it's hard for me even to find a specific one. Now, you liberal crybabies want to cry about Elon and protest Elon for getting rid of wasteful spending. Why the hell don't you go protest all the other Trump's boys? It's because the liberal democratic mind control wants you to believe to target Elon Musk out of everyone else. You want to know why? Because that's getting rid of their billions of dollars that they're funneling. How the hell is every senator a freaking multi-millionaire? Not just a multi-millionaire. They're all worth like $10 million plus, but they only make a $200,000 a year salary. Now that just shows you the corruption. Privatize Social Security. Don't worry, I don't want to do that. I'm just looking something up. Oh, found them. John Larson. That's the guy who lied about Elon Musk. John Larson lies about Elon Musk.
We're an equal branch of government. And you start off with a blather, and yet when we look at the empty seats here, where's Elon Musk? I'm sure he's a genius and is a very credible person because of the wealth he's accumulated.
Just
But
like
that does
you?
not put him above the law or the responsibility.
Just like you?
to come before this committee in this Congress. If he's so great, if these plans and all the fraud and abuse that he found are so evident, why isn't he here explaining it? You know why.
He's a busy man.
Because he's out to privatize Social Security. He's been on television the last couple of days talking exactly about Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid, and what he intends to do. Privatize it. The American people, some of them may have been born at night.
Now that is wrong. Show me one single video where Elon Musk said he wants to privatize Social Security. You will not find it. That was a blatant lie. That was a blatant lie. That was a blatant lie. Now I'll play that one more time for you guys, but I want to play it on an actual news station. Yeah, he doesn't have to say it to want to do it, but what you're saying is speculation. That's like me saying that, this Democratic senator wants to take over the world and set everything on fire and kill everyone. Anyone can say anything, but there's no proof behind it. You can't just say things without having proof. That's exactly what the fucking issue is. Now, you're the second Democrat that has said that to me. That's complete bullshit. You should not be able to say stuff like that. When you're in the government, you can't just say whatever the fuck you want to say. Excuse my language, but you can't just say whatever you want to say because that's not, you're on the news, you're tricking people, you're bringing fear into people's hearts. I just showed you something that was a lie. You don't even disagree with me because you know it's true. You don't even disagree with me because you know it's true. All you can say is, oh, that doesn't mean he doesn't want to do that. It doesn't mean he doesn't want to do that just because he didn't say it, just because he didn't say it. Just think about that for a second. Does that show how stupid you are when you're saying things with no evidence? Does that show your intelligence? You can't just say things with no proof. Anyone can say anything. I can say Obama was secretly Adolf Hitler and he had a whole Nazi room in the White House that he hid from everybody. He could have had that. Who knows? He could have had that. That's your thinking. Think about that for a second. That's your thinking. You're just making shit up. That's your actual thinking. Think about that for a second. Really, before you rage out of your pants, think about that for a second. Really, really think about it. You're saying things without evidence. That means you're making shit up. Making shit up means you're lying. Listen, all these numbers that he wants to cut is speculation, but he's going to cut them out. He's not going to let your rich buddies that are Democrats keep funding their pockets. Who knows? Maybe you get money off Democrats or something like that. Maybe you do. That's my only guess. You must be getting paid off Democrats. You're wasting your time here, buddy. You're wasting your time here. I'm educating people and you're just proving how stupid they are. Anyone watching this in the future, just know that there's Democrats in here and they're responding saying, oh, I know Elon Musk never said it out of his mouth that he wants to privatize Social Security and Medicare. I know he never said that, but that doesn't mean he doesn't want to do it. Yeah, just because Obama never said he wanted to kill all the American population doesn't mean he doesn't want to do it. How about that? Does that make any sense? You're just making things up. You can't do that. Especially if you're a government worker or if you're a Congress member and you know you're on TV. That's wrong. You're scaring American people. You're scaring the elderly. You're misinforming people. Elon Musk will not take your Social Security away. He will not take your Medicare away. And when 1 year passes by, when 2 years passes by, when 3 years passes by, and he hasn't taken your Medicare and Social Security away, I want every single one of you Democrats to come to me and apologize personally, because you'll realize how stupid you were. You can't believe the news. You really believe, even though Elon Musk is the richest man in the world, you don't believe that even Trump, as rich as he is, as rich as both of them, you don't think that they have family members that care about Social Security? You don't think that? Use your damn head for a second. Use your head. I just showed you guys proof, basically, that the Democrats will just make shit up, and they all say the same thing. They all say the same line. Oh, it doesn't mean he doesn't want to do it. Well, you're making shit up. Where's the proof? Show me proof. I just told you there is no proof, and you agreed, but then you said, oh, it doesn't mean he doesn't want to do it. That has to be the stupidest thing I ever heard. Like, literally, that is the stupidest Democrat point that I've ever heard in my life. You're not making a valid point. If this was an argument in front of 100 American citizens, they're all going to side with me, and none of them are going to side with you unless we're picking people from Los Angeles, California, and maybe, because they're all Democrats and liberals there. Other than that, you don't stand a chance against me in the debate. I just destroyed you. I just destroyed you, buddy.
The men and women on this committee are good people. They're honest and caring people. And that's why I do not understand why you would relegate this committee to no longer being of significance and resort to saying you will do whatever Elon Musk and Donald Trump tell you to do.
Yeah, don't listen to them cry about it.
Where's the legislature? We're an equal branch of government.
Here's another point I'd like to make. When you start screaming into the microphone at full blast, at that point, I think your relevance and truth-telling and everything you're saying kind of goes out of the window. You should not be raising your voice that much. Raising your voice and screaming, in my opinion, makes what you're saying not believable and not reliable. And that's just my own personal opinion. When I hear people doing that, most of the things they say aren't really true. Just like this guy right here, he lies about Elon Musk and says he wants to privatize it.
With a blather? And yet when they look at the empty seats here, where's Elon Musk? I'm sure he's a genius and is a very credible person because of the wealth he's accumulated. But that does not put him above the law or the responsibility to come before this committee in this Congress. If he's so great, if these plans and all the fraud and abuse that he found are so evident, why isn't he here explaining it?
He's a busy man.
You know why. Because he's out to privatize Social Security. He's been on television the last couple of days talking exactly about Social Security.
Even this guy
Medicare,
doesn't know what the hell he's
Medicaid,
talking
and
about.
what he intends to do. Privatize it. The American people, some of them may have been born at night, but not last night. People are aware of this. Every single one of your districts.
He's lying. He's blatantly lying.
Monthly, and you have not done, you as a Congress have not done anything in more than 54 years. And now you have someone coming in to privatize a system of the more than 190.
He is lied, guys. Look it up on Google yourself. Look it up on ChatGPT. Look it up on any reliable news source. This man has lied. Time after time after time after time. He's lied about Elon Musk wanting to privatize insurance. Not one single news article, not one single person other than me and Fox News want to expose his lies. Fox News, I give you credits. You guys exposed John Larson for lying, saying that Elon Musk has publicly said on TV he wants to privatize Social Security.
As I said in my opening monologue earlier today, SpaceX successfully completed its rescue of 2 astronauts who spent 9 months stranded in space. They were only supposed to be there 8 days. SpaceX founder, chief engineer, CEO Elon Musk, he now joins us for an exclusive interview. Elon, first of all, what a triumph to the human spirit, human ingenuity, engineering. First of all, on behalf of, I know many people in this audience, thank you for what you did for those astronauts today. How were you feeling, throughout the day? I mean, I know I felt butterflies in my stomach, and I rarely feel them.
Well, I'm actually usually a little nervous about these returns because there's always some risk that something could go wrong. But thanks to the excellent work of the SpaceX team working with NASA, the astronauts are now safely home. And so congratulations to the SpaceX NASA teams.
Thank you, Elon Musk, for bringing our American astronauts home.
Note of appreciation to President Trump for prioritizing and expediting their return.
You have been the chief engineer of SpaceX and remain the chief engineer of SpaceX. It is the first private company to ever make it to orbit. Walk us through the beginnings of that. It is not, it's something that nobody else has been able to accomplish.
Well, it's quite a long story. There are some books that have been written about it. But in the beginning, we didn't actually know anything about rockets. So our first 3 missions failed, actually, of our Falcon 1 rocket. And we almost ran out of money and just barely made it with the 4th launch. If the 4th launch of Falcon 1 had not succeeded, we would have failed as a company. So we just barely made it.
This is a man that struggled his whole life to get his businesses off the ground, and people want to come out of nowhere and disrespect him. Did you work 22 hours a day on your business? Did you work 22 hours a day?
To take astronauts to Mars. In fact, we want to take anyone who goes to Mars and ultimately build a self-sustaining civilization on Mars. That is the long-term goal of the company. Make life healthy planetary.
I mean, that is a very bold vision. How long do you think that might take SpaceX to be able to accomplish?
I think we could do it in 20 to 30 years.
Mm-hmm. So really, a lifetime.
I should say,
if God blesses me with a longer life than I deserve, right? I could always hope. I would love to be able to see that. That would be amazing. I happen to have a telescope, and I love to look at the stars in the sky and the planets, and I am amazed at the majesty of all of creation and the idea that we even look at the moon and we can go there and come back, or a space station, or you launching the hundreds of satellites you have. I want to ask you this question, if I may, and it's, every aspect of this rescue had challenges and danger. The launch, we start there. Then the rocket landing. I mean, we showed. I couldn't believe you were able to land the rocket that fell off perfectly where you wanted it to land. The docking video when they actually connected and got onto the space station. Then the taking off earlier today was a 17-hour trip leading to the splashdown that all of America watched today. Every single aspect of that has danger and complications. Walk us through the dangers of each phase.
Well, on the ascent phase, there's always some chance that either the first or second stage will blow up. In fact, I find it's actually remarkable when you see a rocket. I mean, when I see the rocket, I see a list of all the things that are wrong, all of the ways that it could go wrong and potentially fail. So you can have a first stage failure, a second stage failure, a stage separation failure. the Dragon could fail to separate from the rocket.
He's a
The rocket could
self-taught
separate from
rocket scientist. How can you be hating the guy?
a sort of an engine failure on the spacecraft itself. When it's coming back, it's coming in so fast, it's a blazing meteor. And if anything happens to the heat shield, the whole craft is going to disintegrate. So it's remarkable that humans can actually go all the way to orbit and come back from orbit, given the immense amounts of energy that is required to get to orbit and the amount of energy that must be dissipated upon return. And then the parachutes have to open, that all has to work. Now, long term, we're going to be doing, not long term, this year, in fact, we're launching the Starship rocket.
He is the modern day Albert Einstein.
Because that is truly a revolutionary rocket.
That's what the president of Italy called him, and I agree.
It has the potential to make life multiplanetary, to make us a multi-planet civilization for the first time in the history of Earth. That's truly profound.
What was amazing, and I studied a lot of this symbolism by my need to cover it, at one point going 17,000 miles per hour, going through 3,500 degrees Fahrenheit. You have this thermal protection system. Now, we do know that the Boeing Starliner, we know that it had problems. So these problems that you talk about, we can't take it for granted or get complacent. Explain how you get up to 17,000 miles per hour. How do you withstand 3,500 degrees Fahrenheit and the thermal protection system that protects that capsule, and then the launch, obviously, the parachutes, which were critical to slow it down for its splashdown?
Perhaps we should do a longer segment, because I'd be happy to explain it in detail. I'll do the 2-minute version here.
Yeah. Okay.
The Falcon 9 rocket takes off with 1.7 million pounds of thrust. So you can imagine something that has enough thrust to lift an office building off its foundations. And it gets to orbit. It gets to roughly 17,000 miles an hour in 9 minutes. So from 0 to 17,000 miles an hour in 9 minutes. And then it's just, when it comes back, you've got that
I'm
heat
at the
shield
front
that's
lines with
dissipated
Elon Musk, destroying the woke mind virus.
meteor. And hardly anything can survive that heat. And if the heat shield fails, you just get vaporized immediately. So it's we're really testing the very edge of human ability here, the very edge of material science. And it's kind of amazing that humans can do this at all. But hopefully this gives, hopefully for people out there, this is a moment of optimism about the future, a moment of excitement about the future, and it portends great things for America and humanity in space.
I'm only going to ask you one political question, just for clarification purposes only. I don't think this should really be a political night. I think this is, a moment where the country should celebrate the fact that you were able to rescue them, that it happened successfully in spite of the difficulty, the challenges, and the danger.
They will never
I just want to
celebrate
clarify
him,
on
the
the issue
Democrats.
of whether or not you
Not during this year.
to send this rocket to space to rescue these astronauts sooner to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. I heard somebody earlier today say, in fact, that didn't happen when I believe it did.
No, we definitely offered to return the astronauts earlier. There's no question about that. The astronauts were only supposed to be there for 8 days, and they've been there for almost 10 months. So obviously that doesn't make any sense.
Guys, that causes a lot of health problems. Biden and Harris didn't give a shit about the
We
astronauts.
made that offer to the Biden administration. It was rejected for political reasons, and that's just a fact.
Yeah. I followed this from the very beginning. Did America and the world make a mistake by slowing down, going to the moon and to other planets? Was that a mistake on our part? I mean, don't we have so many scientific and innovative breakthroughs every time we go?
Well, I think we'll have tremendous breakthroughs when we establish a city or a base and then a city on Mars, because we'll have to overcome so many challenges that it'll serve as a forcing function for the development of new technologies that will have tremendous benefits to people on Earth.
Let's talk a little bit, if we can, about the health issues that the astronauts will face. They only trained for an 8-day mission, but there are certainly things involved with returning to gravity, adjusting to gravity, nauseousness, but then it gets a little bit more serious, a variety of other health problems. Bones become about 1% less dense for every month that they are in space. That can lead to issues like osteoporosis or bone fracture, etc. Astronauts grow in space because the spinal column expands. There was one astronaut, Scott Kelly, he became 2 inches taller, and others then, when it contracts when you come back, then they have some back issues. They have vision issues because fluids in the eye shift upward to the head. You can explain baby feet if you want. They will have some significant health issues that they're going to be facing, but they'll be okay.
The normal amount of time that astronauts are supposed to be in zero G is about 3 months, and then really at the most about 6 months. That's sort of the normal rotation, and they were up there for almost 10 months. So that's really going beyond what is healthy or good. So it's a good thing that thanks to the support of President Trump, we're able to bring them back, because really things get just a lot worse if they stay in zero G for past a year or more.
What you were able to accomplish today really is just fascinates me. I'm interested in every aspect of it. I think it was pretty public that I bought one of your Teslas. I don't like the way that people, and by the way, it's like the greatest car ever invented. It really is, and I'm not just saying that. It's self-driving. It's got 1,000 horsepower. It goes from 0 to 60 in 0.2 seconds. And it's
2 seconds. 2 seconds.
Okay, no, I'm sorry, not 0. It goes in 0 to 60 in 2.0 seconds.
I wish it was that fast.
Basically, if it went that fast.
That's true.
But it's pretty fast, that's for sure. It's faster than a Ferrari, for example, yeah.
No, I watched it beat my Z06. I'm like, I thought that was the greatest muscle car. No, it's not. I watched the S-Plaid beat it. You're into robotics, AI. You are working with Neuralink so the blind can see, and people with spinal cord injuries may one day walk. You help people in North Carolina. You help people in California when they have no communications. And I watch all of this, and I have to ask, why? Why do I see people like I woke up this morning and saw that Teslas were put ablaze in one of your dealerships in Vegas? I've seen this happen all over the country. Bullets are being fired. Charging stations are put ablaze. Teslas are being put ablaze. You have experienced assassination, threats of assassination for you and your family. What have you done that warrants this? Because I see nothing that you have done except help our country.
It's really come as quite a shock to me that there's this level of really hatred and violence from the left. I always thought the left, Democrats were supposed to be the party of empathy, the party of caring, and yet they're burning down cars, they're firebombing dealerships, they're firing bullets into dealerships, they're just, smashing up Teslas. Tesla is a peaceful company. We've never done anything harmful. I've never done anything harmful. I've only done productive things. So I think we just have a deranged, there's some kind of mental illness thing going on here, because this doesn't make any sense. And I think there are larger forces at work as well. I don't know who's funding it and who's coordinating it, because this is crazy. I've never seen anything like this.
You actually tweeted out, and I'll put it on the screen, the level of violence is insane. It is deeply wrong. Tesla just makes electric cars and has done nothing to deserve these evil attacks. You just rescued 2 astronauts that have been in space for 286 days. They were only supposed to be there 8. You help the people in North Carolina, Tennessee, California. You have, I think, the most creative and innovative car on the market. You created Starlink for communications that's used by hundreds of countries. You're working on helping the blind see and all of these other things. Is it really come down to the basic, you're aligned with President Donald Trump, who also is a friend of mine, and that you have identified well over $100 billion of waste, fraud, abuse that our federal government never
Yes.
should have been spending? Is that what it comes
It
down to?
shows you that all that money was going into
Yeah,
someone's pocket.
It turns out,
And now they want to
when
murder
take
you.
away people's, what the money they're receiving fraudulently, they get very upset, and they basically want to kill me because I'm stopping their fraud, and they want to hurt Tesla because we're stopping this terrible waste and corruption in the government. And well, I guess they're bad people. Bad people will do bad things.
Well, I know that overall, financially, in the end, yes, they can hurt you, but the people that they'll end up hurting are the people that work in your dealerships that may risk losing their job. The people that they may end up hurting are the people that work on the line and build the Teslas. They're going to be the ones hurt. And that to me is despicable on their part, just because they might have a political difference or perceived political difference. Let me ask you this, because I think this is pretty important. The average American makes $66,000 a year. We're close to $40,000 in debt. You said to me in our last interview, we won't have a country unless we fix it now. Can you explain why this is so important that we identify all this waste?
Yes, the government the government waste and fraud is so high that it's causing a $2 trillion annual deficit. So that's $2,000 billion of waste and fraud that's happening. And the cost of our debt has gotten so high that just the interest payments on the debt exceed the entire military budget. And it was just growing out of control. So the country was going bankrupt. It's just, a country is no different from a person. If a country overspends and doesn't spend wisely, just like a person, the country will go bankrupt. So the reason I'm here is because I'm very worried about America going bankrupt due to the corruption and waste. And if we're going to do something about it, the ship of America is going to sink. And we're all on that ship. And this may be a message to, people out there who have, are wealthy, have a lot of means, or control companies. It's like, just remember, we're all on ship America here. Your company is not going to exist if the ship of America sinks. And we should do everything we possibly can to ensure that America is strong for far into the future.
And for doing that, we're all sunk. And for doing that, you should not have your company be a victim of domestic terrorism. If I may, one last question. When I interviewed you and President Trump together, one of the questions I asked both of you was, are you aware that there are groups that want to separate you, groups that would like to divide you, groups that would like to see you not work together? I feel it's stronger than it's ever been. Do you get the same sense?
I think they're getting desperate because, the reason we're seeing this extreme amount of hatred and violence is because we're actually succeeding in getting rid of corruption and waste. If we weren't succeeding in getting rid of corruption and waste, they wouldn't care. But we are succeeding. Without President Trump, this would be impossible. So I'd just like to say, it's only possible with this president. And we've got this narrow window of opportunity with a House, Senate, and a popular vote, and really we're just implementing the will of the people. And we've got this window where we can finally take corrective action. We can fix the government, fix the country, and create a great future. And again, it's only possible because of President Trump. I can't say enough good things about him.
I'm kind of supportive too. I'm pretty well known for my support. As you may know, but for good reason, and for all the reasons you're saying. I want to save our country. We can't put our kids and grandkids, and we can't put all that down on them. And you're right. None of us will have any business opportunities because there won't be any money, there won't be any freedom, there won't be an economy. Thank you for what you did today. I know I speak for a lot of people when I say that. And on the other side of it, you know, your company being a victim of domestic terrorism, you know, I can't say that I'm sorry enough. We need to get these people that are responsible for this, and you should not have to live through that. Your workers should not have to live through that. Your company and this country should not have to live through that. And I hope we get to the bottom of it.
Thank you.
And by the way, I'm excited about my S-Plaid. It's the best car I've ever driven.
It's a great car. It's what I
0 to
drive
60
actually every day. It's a great car.
Is that right?
I mean, I kind of made the car that I wanted to drive, so that's why I like it. And yeah, that's.
Well, I've got mine on Hannity.com. People can go take a look. We appreciate you being with us. Elon Musk, thank you, and congratulations, and thank you. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is here. Do the people of Florida, Governor, do they seem upset about gangbangers getting flown out of the country?
No.
Not at all, Jesse. In fact, we have a very strong Venezuelan American population down in South Florida, and they've been for many years during Biden's whole open borders. They were the ones warning about the people that Venezuela was sending. Those are people that were in the prisons. These were very problematic individuals. Heck, when we did the first flight to Martha's Vineyard, most of those were Venezuelans. People thought the Venezuelan Americans in Florida were going to be upset. They were very happy with that because they knew what was going on. So President Trump's doing the right thing. And, you know, when I hear these sound bites of these legacy media apparatchiks comparing these Venezuelan gang members to Irish immigrants from the 19th century, and I'm just thinking, legacy media, maybe they should just shut down and start over, because what they're doing is just such a fraud, and the public does not believe a word they say anymore.
And Governor, remind me what did to the people that you flew there. I think they got them out of there almost like what, in 48 hours?
They declared a state of emergency.
Yeah.
This, mind you, Jesse, was an actual enclave, Martha's Vineyard, that claimed to be a sanctuary jurisdiction. They actually had an office that was supposedly to welcome refugees. I think it was just for virtue signaling. I don't think they actually ever used it, but they declared a state of emergency. They had the National Guard come out, and this was just 50, and they were gone off that island within 48 hours. So just think about these poor Texas border towns having tens of thousands, and the elite liberals told them that they just had to grin and bear it. The minute they had 50 show up in their precious enclave, they flipped out.
Yeah, I think they took him to a military base or something like that, and God knows what happened to him after that. No one ever kept track. What about the Gulf of America? I mean, just a month or two after they rename this thing, they get some surprise guests.
Well, I'll tell you what, you know, this is kind of a microcosm for the change we've seen in our country from Biden to President Trump. You know, they do this space mission, you know, they have problems, and they had no way to go and rescue these astronauts, and they're just up there. Now we have a new president, President Trump, of course, working with Elon Musk, and they go up and they bring these guys back. So, yeah, it landed not far from where we are in Tallahassee, in that part of the Gulf. And so I think it was an important thing to happen. But I also think symbolically it shows that we're a country that can get things done again. Under Biden, we were just a country that was continually stubbing our toe because of his ineptitude.
All right, well, the legacy media is still calling it the Gulf of Mexico. They actually said it was off Florida's coast.
Nah, that's the Gulf of America. How can you hate on Elon Musk saving American astronauts?
Florida, all of our stuff, we did an executive order. We're referring to it as Gulf of America. I know the legislature will probably do some things to solidify that as well. So we're proud of it.
All right, well, name something for me down there if you have a chance. We appreciate all your support. Thank you so much.
Now more of my interview.
What is
with
cooking in
President
the background? Oh, to answer your question, it was a pork steak. Sorry, I just saw that. Pork steak.
They have a $60 billion trade trade deficit. China has like a 300 billion last year. You said it goes up when you add it
Canada's
all up, it's a trillion.
way over 100, Canada. And here's my problem with Canada. Canada was meant to be the 51st state because we subsidize Canada by $200 billion a year. We don't need their cars. We don't need their lumber. We have a lot of lumber. We freed it up, as you know, last week. We're freeing it up so that you can actually cut down a tree without being, given the death penalty. Because what these radical environmentalists have done to our country, but we freed it up. But we don't need their lumber. We don't need their energy. We don't need anything. We certainly don't want their automobiles. They make a lot of millions of automobiles are sent in. I'd rather have them made in Michigan. I'd rather have them made in South Carolina or any one of
But
our.
you're tougher with Canada than you are with some
Only
of our,
because-
our biggest adversaries.
Only
Why?
because it's meant to be our 51st state. And
Okay, but
no,
we
but
need-
listen to this for a
We
second.
need their territory. They have territorial advantage. We're not
One
going to
of
let
the
them get
most-
close to China.
Look,
Right.
I deal with every country, indirectly or directly. One of the nastiest countries to deal with is Canada. The people that, now this was Trudeau, the people that good old Justin, I call him Governor Trudeau, his people were nasty. And they weren't telling the truth. They never told the truth. You know that, they'd say, well, we don't charge.
I've been to Canada. They don't like Justin. They do not like Justin Trudeau in Canada. That's facts. Let me know where you guys are coming from and what you think. Do you think Trump is a Putin sympathizer, or do you think he's just trying to, get world peace? Hit the like and subscribe button. I love to hear from you guys. Oh, by the way, really appreciate everyone supporting. Please hit the like and subscribe button. I'm on the come up here on this channel. What do you guys think about Donald J. Trump? Is he a good man, or is he just a Putin sympathizer? Whatever the hell you want to say. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. But you get the gist.
Under Canada, and here's my problem with Canada. Canada was meant to be the 51st state because we subsidize Canada by $200 billion a year. We don't need their cars. We don't need their lumber. We have a lot of lumber. We freed it up, as you know, last week. We're freeing it up so that you can actually cut down a tree without being, given the death penalty. Because what these radical environmentalists have done to our country, but we freed it up. But we don't need their lumber. We don't need their energy. We don't need anything. We certainly don't want their automobiles. They make a lot of millions of automobiles are sent in. I'd rather have them made in Michigan. I'd rather have them made in South Carolina or any one of
But
our.
you're tougher with Canada than you are with some
Only
of our,
because-
our biggest adversaries.
Only
Why?
because it's meant to be our 51st state. And
Okay, but
but listen to this for a
We
second.
need their territory. They have territorial advantage. We're not
One
going to
of
let
the
them get
most-
close to China.
Look, I deal with every country, indirectly or directly. One of the nastiest countries to deal with is Canada. The people that, now this was Trudeau, the people that good old Justin, I call him Governor Trudeau, his people were nasty. And they weren't telling the truth. They never told the truth. You know that, they'd say, well, we don't charge. Well, they do. They charge tremendous. And if you look at dairy products, what they've done to our farmers, I go up to Iowa, I go up to different places, Nebraska, and they would always complain about Canada, how they get ripped off. Do you know that Canada has a 250% tariff? 250, nobody knows that. They charge us numbers that are crazy. We have a very big deficit with Canada, and there's no reason, much more, we have much more. Just so you understand, we subsidize Canada, and I like Canada. I love Canada. I love
But now the Liberal guys,
I love his wife.
the Liberal Party is going to win now in the next election,
I don't
most
care.
likely. And they were
I don't care.
down tonight.
I don't
Isn't that
care.
going to make them more hostile to us and
No,
possibly
I'd rather deal with a liberal than a
for
conservative.
China, closer to Canada, and that would really put us in a bind.
He'd rather deal with the liberal because they're easier to
I
trick.
He said negative things. So when he says negative things, I couldn't care less. I think it's easier.
And they're easier to control.
With a liberal. And maybe they're going to win, but I don't really care. It doesn't matter to me at all.
So your end game is what with them?
My end game is I don't want to have a big deficit. I don't want to see the United States of America, and you say 60 and I say 200, but it doesn't matter. I don't want us to pay 60 or 200 billion dollars to a country that if they were a state, think of this, it would be our biggest, most beautiful, it would be great. This state, it would be cherished. We'd take care of it. The people would pay half what they're paying right now. Canada pays very little for defense. They think we're going to defend
We protect them.
What?
We protect them.
We protect them. We protect them. Do you know in NATO they pay less than anybody else? In everything else, they go. We're in the process of buying 48 icebreakers. All of a sudden I see Canada's involved where they're going to get a piece of them. I say, what are they paying? And so I got tired of it. Here's the story. I had one of the most successful economies. I had the most successful economy in the history of our country in my first 4 years. We did a great job. Largest tax cuts ever, largest everything. We had right to try where people were able to use drugs. Stupidly, for many years, they weren't able to use, the far-reaching drugs because they weren't approved yet. Somebody's terminally ill, they couldn't do it. With me, they can do it. We did so many things. We rebuilt our military. Canada doesn't pay for military. They don't give any, they give us nothing. And they are the worst people to negotiate with of everybody. They
With
the worst.
USMCA, you finally got them around the edge on that, though.
No, I got them there, and USMCA is good, but they cheat. An agreement's good, but they cheat. And Mexico cheats also.
But China cheated on your 2019.
Can I tell you what?
Phase one, they totally cheated and dropped it with Biden. You had a great deal.
When Biden took over, he didn't push them. I would call up once every 2 weeks saying you're not living up to the agreement, and they'd buy more corn, more this. So the most we ever did was $15 billion with China, the farmers and everything, and manufacturing.
Yeah.
I had them up to $50 billion, and they were doing it. When Biden got in, do you think Biden called up President Xi and said, you're screwing us?
Hey, Sean Hannity here.
Not a chance. Biden called up 0 people and told them they're screwing us. 0. He just let every country run us over any which way they wanna. And I was sick of that shit. Now we got a man president.
While Democrats struggle to figure out their potential message, potential 2020
Let me know where you guys are coming from.
potential candidate Tim Walz, they had some ideas.
I think it goes back to what we began with. Is that
Oh, not Tampon Tim.
We cannot continue to be on the defense reacting to this. We've got to go on the offense. You got to respect people you disagree with. Even you can't just dismiss people.
I don't think they're really capable of doing that,
I
Democrats.
think I can get most of their. I do that. But it's a natural reaction. I think it's one of the reasons we're losing so many men.
Fox News contributor Joe Concha joins us now. Joe, good morning to you. So
Exactly.
Is a tale of two messages here because you have Governor Newsom saying Democrats just need to do better, right? And then Tim Walz is talking about fighting Republicans physically, getting in the WWE ring. He mentioned
I'll slap the dog shit.
So what do you think about this conversation as Democrats really trying to dig themselves out of this hole
Just
here?
kidding. No violence here. No violence
Watch this
here.
clip, Carly, Todd, of Newsom and
I didn't say anything.
the worst vice presidential candidate of our lifetime.
I meant I would pick up his dog shit.
When Walz says, as you pointed out, he can kick Trump supporters
I won't use the word, but buts, we'll put it that way. And you just go back to that vice presidential debate between J.D. Vance and Tim Walz and say, yeah, you're not the guy to do this. Are you going to run a mean pick six like you did with AOC when you were playing Madden? Because you can't run a pick six.
The Democrats promoting violence.
Anyway, I don't want to go into the weeds on that one. But look, Gavin Newsom can't go on offense either, considering the state of his state. When you consider that highest poverty rate in the country, highest homeless rate in the country, Minnesota, not too much better, more people moving out of Minnesota for places like Florida than any state in the country. So it's not a messaging problem, it's an ideology problem, it's a policy position problem. And the problem is, when you go on the offense, you have to be on the right side of issues, and they're on the 20 side of every 80-20 issue in the country. So when you support Venezuelan gang members, for example, staying in the country instead of being deported, when you support late-term abortion, when you support tampons being in elementary school boys' bathrooms.
Yeah, screw you, tampon Tim.
Vote or voting without voter ID, you can't go on the offensive because most people don't agree with you in that regard. So talking tough, to your point, Carly, I guess that's going on the offensive, but most people say that and hear that and they say, yeah, no, you're not the guy to do that, no question.
Yeah, what are they fighting? They're fighting common sense and the will of the voters. And sneaky move there by Gavin Newsom, because that split screen of the two of them, you may not like Gavin Newsom's views, but one looks very presidential and one looks completely delusional and not over losing his time running as VP. Quite a contrast there. So great move there, Gavin Newsom. You win the chess match. Meantime, media pundits are not just defending the illegal migrant criminals being deported. They're accusing the Trump administration of being lawless. Listen to this.
We are seeing a wide-ranging, strategic, deliberate effort by this White House to shift the balance of power away from Congress, away from the courts, into the presidency.
He is simply testing the limits of our judicial system and testing the limits of our law. And while his minions are claiming that, this is the judge's fault and that they should be impeached, what he is doing and trying to do is lawless.
The judge does not control foreign U.S. policy and border control. That's not a job of a judge.
But it was perfectly fine when Joe Biden literally ignored immigration law over the course of 2020.
Hit the like and subscribe button. Let me know where you guys are coming from.
You're reading it correctly, Todd, and I feel like we should be wearing really big dark rimmed glasses after seeing everybody in those clips.
If you have a different political opinion, it's okay, but please hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you for joining. Let me know where you're coming from. I do not consider myself a Republican at all. I just agree with a lot of what Trump has to say. I'm a United States citizen. I'm living abroad, so I really don't care too much. But I love America. And I love what Trump stands for. And I love Elon Musk. He's an American icon and an American hero.
Yeah, it's lawless what Donald Trump is doing while completely neglecting the lawless nature in the phrase illegal migrant gang member. I'm sure the people that Donald Trump is trying to get out of this country. So I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for joining us on this Wednesday morning.
Oh no, he's breaking the law. He's trying to get all these illegal immigrants out that are criminals and gang members. Quickly, we got to stop him.
Listen to this. A Jewish New York City Cybertruck owner was left speechless as he watched a man vandalize his Tesla with a swastika.
Ironically, now who's the Nazi?
Showcasing yet another protest against the head of DOGE. And the owner of that Cybertruck, Avi Ben-Hamo, joins us right now. Avi, good morning to you.
Good morning.
So you park your car, your Cybertruck there on a street in Brooklyn. You look out, and there's a guy making a swastika, and you ran out. And what'd you say? What'd you do?
I didn't know what's really going on because I saw the guy messing up
That's
with
what
my
I would
car.
do.
I'm going, and then I see this
No
very
words, just
anti-Semitic swastika on the car, and I didn't understand. I approached him and asked him, "What are you doing?" And he told me very, very disgusting things. I didn't understand what's going on, and he tried to run away.
I guess he's Jewish, and the guy with the swastika, writing the swastika, is the Nazi.
On your vehicle, there is Hebrew writing, but then again, he's Jewish too. Was he targeting you as a Tesla owner? Was he targeting Elon Musk, who's cooperating with Donald Trump? Who is he taking a shot at?
I could only assume. I can't really know what the guy thinks, but I could only assume that's what he's trying to targeting. The fact that he's trying to target something like this, it's nothing about my car or about me or whatever he's doing, because that's so wrong.
So after you confronted him, you stood in front of his car. He jumped in his Subaru and he was going to make a getaway.
Oh, all the liberal Subaru drivers, the crybabies.
He couldn't go anywhere.
It's a woman's car.
90 minutes later, he comes back. Apparently, he was arrested on suspicion of aggravated harassment and later released. The DA is not going to charge him with anything, but you say, Avi, he should be charged with a hate.
What the hell? What kind of DA is this? Is this the DA of New York? We need the federal government to get involved. Didn't Trump say people attacking Teslas were going to get federal terrorism charges? Now, who's the real Nazi here? The Jewish man with the Cybertruck, or the other guy putting the swastika on the Jewish man's car? Now the script has flipped. The Democrats can really think twice if they know how to use their brain a little bit. Hit the like and subscribe button. I really appreciate everyone joining in. Let me know where you guys are coming from.
Correct, sir. First of all, when he ran back to his car, I stand over there and he tried to run me over with his car. So when he saw that I called him,
he tried to kill a Jewish man and he put a Nazi symbol on his car.
Locked the car and ran away and left his car blocking the bike lane.
It's sad to say, but New York is still not safe.
That's what I saw.
Right. You say, Avi, that the New York City and cops should do something to make Jews feel safer, and Brooklyn does not feel safe anymore. Why do you drive a Cybertruck?
I love the car. I like the car. I like electric car. Nothing specific about politics or Elon Musk or nothing. I just like electric cars, and I drive electric. That's about it.
It's as simple as that. And
he's Jewish. Why would they put a swastika on a Jewish man's car? They're the Nazis, I guess.
Our client, who's also Jewish, deeply regrets.
Who's also Jewish? No, he's not. Bull crap.
He was dealing with a host of personal issues at the time, and the action was out of character. He was released from custody without charges because no damage was done to the...
Because he has a good lawyer. That's why he got released from custody. Trump should specifically go after this guy on a federal level. You shouldn't be doing that, scaring other people like that. Another Jew to another Jew? I can't believe that man, the terrorist, is Jewish. Yes, I'm going to call him a terrorist. Active terrorism is destroying random cars in the street and putting swastikas on them.
And no crime was committed.
No crime was committed? What?
Either the guy who wrote on your car or the lawyer regarding that statement.
First of all, as a Jewish, I don't feel safe anymore in Brooklyn or in New York. If the guy had an issue, he's not supposed to go ahead and do something against other people's car. And that's literally anti-Semitic. I think we have over here a bigger issue that
he's a self-hating Jew. The other guy ain't a real Jew. If he is, he's self-hating.
Prosecute people like this.
He put a swastika on a Jewish Tesla owner's car. Who the hell are the real Nazis?
And Jewish people not going to be safe in the city.
Avi, exit question. You going to continue to drive your Cybertruck in New York?
For sure, sir.
Okay, good enough.
You can't let these people put fear in your heart. I'm proud of him for that. I'm proud of him for that. But I'm not proud of the DA of New York. Why the hell wouldn't they prosecute this guy? He put a swastika on the dude's car. They tried to run him over. They put a swastika on a Jewish man's car. All because they don't like Elon Musk. He was driving a Cybertruck. Hit the like and subscribe button if you guys are new here. I'm originally from the United States, but I'm traveling over the world discussing US politics. They have been calling Trump and Elon supporters Nazis. Now they just put a swastika on a Cybertruck of a Jewish man. Who is the real Nazis? Who are the real Nazis? Hit the like and subscribe button. I really appreciate all you guys joining in. If you're new to my channel, I do political live streams. I do travel videos. It's all not political stuff. I do a lot of different kind of content.
We are now entered into the 4th year of a vicious, terrible war.
That's
in
horrible.
Ukraine after Russia invaded the country.
I believe at least 1 million lives have been lost.
President Trump, just a short time ago, after he completed this phone conversation, highly anticipated phone call with Vladimir Putin, they spent an hour and a half on the phone. At one point, Putin said that a condition is no more aid or intel to Ukraine, which of course they rely on heavily to keep...
Actually, Trump said himself that wasn't mentioned on the phone call. I know this is Fox News and they're like Republican, right-wing, whatever. Doesn't mean they're always right. I had to correct them on that. Now, I don't know if it's true or false, but from Trump's mouth, they did not discuss anything about ending aid.
There's a discussion of a 30-day ceasefire on infrastructure. So here's what President Trump, this is his first reveal after the phone call in terms of what he wants to share on Truth Social. He said, my phone conversation today with President Putin of Russia was a very good and productive one. We agreed, he says, to an immediate ceasefire on all energy and infrastructure with an understanding that they will be quickly working to have a complete ceasefire and ultimately an end to this very horrible war between Russia and Ukraine. This war would never have started if I were president, ! He writes. Many elements of a contract for peace were discussed, including the fact that thousands of soldiers are being killed, and both President Putin and President Zelensky would like to see it end. That process is now in full force and effect, and we will hopefully, for the sake of humanity, get the job done. Senior correspondent Benjamin Hall is here, his new book, which is out today.
Let me know where you guys are coming from inside the United States, outside of the United States. I love to hear it. Do you think Trump is a Putin sympathizer, or do you think the man just wants world peace? Not necessarily world peace, but... Let me know where you guys are coming from. Love to hear it. Just wanted to show some of the beautiful views here. Hit the like and subscribe button. You know, like I said, I'm originally from Florida. Kind of travel all over Europe and all over everywhere. And yeah, I just do political talks and travel videos and vlogging. And yeah, hit the like and subscribe button if you guys are new here. I know there's a lot of craziness going on with Trump, and hopefully he can end this war. I'm sick of this war. 5 years of this war. The world will be a better place. The places I travel, they'll get better if this literally, like, you know, it'll get better if, you know, the war ends. For the sake of humanity. We don't want World War III. Elon Musk is a hero for saving the astronauts. Now, that's sad about Hamas and Israel. I know, you know, the war just kept going and keep going. But what the hell can you expect? This is like thousands of years of war between them. Let's see more Biden corruption.
The Daily Doge, where we reveal
the
what
Daily
Elon Musk and his
Doge.
team are finding deep within the government.
You may think that that the government computers like all talk to each other, they synchronize, they add up what funds are going somewhere, and it's it's coherent. That the there's and that the numbers, for example, that you're presented as a senator, are actually the real numbers.
One would think.
One would think that they're not. Okay. I mean, they're not totally wrong, but they're probably off by 5% or 10% in some cases. I call a magic money computer any computer which can just make money out of thin air. They're mostly Treasury. Some are, but there's some at HHS. There's one or two at State. There's some at DOD. I think we found now 14 magic money computers.
Magic money computer. I mean, you cannot make this up, honestly. It sounds like a parody when he's saying it. But from finding made-up government money to finding completely empty office buildings.
Monday, knock, knock, nobody's home. Look at this. Got this big, beautiful area where employees are supposed to work. Nobody's here. So we're in the second headquarters at Freddie Mac. We were just in the other building. There was nobody there for miles and miles and miles. Look at these desks. They're clean. We've got a cafeteria, again, that's completely vacant. You've got
government waste.
Being prepared. The staff that makes the food is here 5 days a week, but the people who work in this building or should work in this building aren't here 5 days a week.
Guess they're not essential employees. Joining me now, Bill Pulte is the director of the Federal Housing Finance
Hit the
Agency.
like and subscribe button.
First of all, great to have you on the
Share
show.
this
Thank you for
video.
doing that
I love and
video, 'cause that
appreciate
really
all of
speaks
you,
to what's
regardless
going
of your
on here.
Democrat,
How many people are
Republican,
supposed to be
race,
working
or
in those
religion. I
buildings
love each
where
and
they
every one of you
began
guys.
DOGE?
Well, and that's a good question. One of the things that we discovered pretty quickly was there was about 2,900 people that were supposed to work in the building. Turns out only 49 were showing up full time on a
Wait,
5-day.
no, slow it down. 2,900 people? How many showed up?
On average, the highest that we saw on a 5-day work week was 49 people. And this would be at Fannie Mae. And Freddie Mac has a similar problem. We're going to fix it. President Trump hired a businessman to do this, and we're going to fix it for him.
So there's also a basketball court. You guys have good facilities over there at Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. So the basketball court, was it
Basketball
playing?
court was
Anyone
vacant.
playing?
Gymnasium, they had hundreds of people could fit in this gymnasium. Nobody was in there. Cafeterias, we were making food, beautiful food, popcorn, all kinds of stuff, but nobody was there to eat it. But the staff there was there for the cafeteria, so we'll get our arms around it and we'll fix it.
What happened with your DEI? Because that was a directive across the government. The president wanted those things handled quickly. What happened?
We removed the 2 senior executives. DEI is dead at Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. They are safe and sound businesses, but we are going to make them safer and stronger. You know, President Trump had great businesses, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, in the first term. Now we're going to make them better, stronger than ever. And I'm very confident that these 2 businesses will be great American icons once again.
All right, Director Pulte, as DOGE is finding waste in government, you found looks like a really wasteful, outrageous Biden deal that looked pretty shady. What is the deal and what should we know about it?
Well, I've only been on the job for about 48 hours, but what I found, and my staff came to me, was that there was this person that was a Biden insider that got essentially $2 million in payments by over an 8-month period or something like this. And she was fired. It's a bizarre thing. We need to look into it. You know, they gave President Trump such a hard time. He did nothing wrong. You know, he's the best president.
Wait, so this money was used for what?
It was given to her apparently for some severance, but after 8 months, who deserves $2.1 million? This stuff doesn't make
Wait,
make
one
sense.
person got two?
One person is wanting that. That's right. That's over a bank we oversee. The San Francisco Bank is what I oversee. We oversee 11 banks at the Federal Housing Finance Agency.
So people think they're not going to get loans, they're not going to be able to get, is it they're worried about that because of the downsizing here?
Well, I don't think that's going to be an issue. I think these banks will be very safe. I think Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac will be stronger than ever. I truly believe it. We have great staff as well at these companies. We have great staff here in the government. It's just we need to get rid of the nonsense, and we're clearing that out.
If you don't come to work, are you really needed?
Crazy, right?
I mean, insane.
By the way, we're spending on that one building, just to point this out, $57 million a year.
And your lease payments?
In lease payments.
Well, there's going to be a lot of condo space in D.C. Director Pulte, hey, thank you for coming in. Don't be a stranger.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here
He's a
to
great
subscribe
man.
to Fox News.
He needs to bring the
YouTube page
focus.
and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere.
We need to bring our focus to American people and focus on the housing costs. people are still joining, but YouTube's giving me a warning about showing this stuff. But I'm pretty sure everything on the news is free use, and I'm only using a clip of it. So please don't copy strike me. I don't know why that guy's voice, I guess, triggered it. But that's interesting. I don't know. Free copyright use.
No longer on Electric Avenue for this senator. Democratic Arizona Senator Mark Kelly hasn't been shy about his support for the left's green agenda. He's on the record saying that the U.S. needs to be doing more to protect the environment.
Hey, when I went into space 4 times, I mean, I could see, how thin the atmosphere is over this planet. It's as thin as a contact lens on an eyeball. And we've got to do a better job.
That has to be the dumbest statement I probably heard from an astronaut in history. You can't tell how thin or thick an atmosphere is, I don't believe, by looking down from space. Don't quote me, but I don't think you can. Like, you can't see how thick the air is either. But I undoubtedly it's thin, but just saying. That just doesn't sound too intelligent of a thing to say.
But that's exactly what he did, simply because Elon Musk made it.
When I bought this thing, I didn't think it was going to become a political issue.
What you really wanted to say is when you bought the car, you didn't think Elon would support Trump.
It reminds me of just how much damage Elon Musk and Donald Trump is doing to our country. So this is going to be my last trip.
Guys, every time one of these Tesla owners show that they own a Tesla and now that they don't like it anymore because Elon's with Trump or whatever, that just shows they once supported Elon. They had no problem supporting the guy, showing love, spending money with him, etc., etc. The minute that Elon was supporting Trump, now they want to say that. Now that Trump's elected. Boo-hoo.
In this car, there were some things I really liked about it. There are things I didn't like about it, but that doesn't matter.
Because I'm going to burn it because he supports Trump. He supports Trump, so I'm going to get rid of it. What a disgrace. I really truly believe in America. You should be able to enjoy a quality, good product, regardless of political affiliation. But people aren't smart enough to see past that.
I think it's time to get rid of this. Elon Musk kind of turned out to be an ass. And
oh, now he's an asshole all because he supports Trump.
Senator Kelly then posted this video where he posed with a brand new Chevy Tahoe Z71, a car that, of course, runs on nothing but gas.
Come on, I thought you were for climate change.
Powering that specific vehicle that senator is running.
Most of them starting with his initial statement that we showed, where he talked about the thinness of the atmosphere. He forgot the scientific definition of heights of different levels of our sphere and atmosphere. So he's not even getting it right.
An astronaut.
How the hell is he an astronaut?
Never mind. I won't get into a lot of the shuttle astronauts I know who don't like him. Look, the fact is he has a choice. In America, you can choose to buy an electric car. You can buy a Tahoe. You can buy whatever you want. He, as an American, got to do that. Problem is, Kelly spent a lot of time telling us we have no choice. Buy EVs, do this, go with the Green New scam, do all of these things because we tell you so.
And now you don't want to support Elon because of Trump.
He's just lying to try and make a quick point to signal some kind of virtue, which makes no sense because it's convoluted.
And I'm curious, Kaylee, about the lack of explanation for someone who entrusted his life with the value of scientific data. So his explanation seems to be rooted in simply calling Elon Musk a name, saying that he does damage and the like. But the reality is that the engine in his new car, it's described as muscular, it runs on gas. So if he...
It's a gas guzzler.
Great. If he now realizes how much of those batteries...
He's pushing out more CO2 emissions.
...increases our dependency on China, amazing. But it seems to me he's not there. It seems to me he's cutting off his nose to spite his face instead.
Yeah, what an irony. Look, when I
What an irony.
he says every time I get into this car over the last 60 days, it reminds me of Trump and Elon Musk and the damage they've done. Have you ever climbed in your car for 60 days? And even during the Biden administration, 60 times thought about Joe Biden? That's a little strange. Okay.
That's a Trump derangement syndrome.
And with the Chevy Tahoe, a gas-powered SUV? And then he says in that clip you played about seeing the stratosphere, like when he went up as an astronaut and seeing this climate change. At the end of that clip, he says, obviously, we have to do more. Does doing more mean getting rid of the Tesla and bringing in a gas-powered vehicle?
Hell yeah, we got Trump derangement syndrome. We gotta get rid of our Tesla, even if it means getting a big gas-guzzling car after claiming we're for climate change.
Opportunity, Harris, that I see in the senator, and it's this. He represents an incredible unicorn right for this moment, which is an astronaut turned senator. And at this moment, his fellow astronauts are being rescued by the same Elon Musk that he called an expletive in his role as senator. How is that not a lost opportunity for him to call on the champion, the celebration of this moment?
This man has full derangement syndrome. Full.
Well, I mean, you pointed out it can't tell which part of the atmosphere, stratosphere, and troposphere we live in. So apparently, the astronaut wasn't trying to overthink this. This is not about Elon Musk.
The uneducated astronaut.
And I look forward to talking more about what's coming up.
Alright guys, that's enough for now. Hit the like and subscribe button. Appreciate you guys for watching. Peace out.